Unu ga-afụ na onye anyị na ya n'ugbu a bụ Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Yes. Igbo Igbo, ekele m unu Lolo Nneka Chimezie mgbe anyị na-ewetara unu ọnọdụ Igbo. Dịka m gwara unu na ị ga-enwe exclusive interview with Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Please share, let others join us, and like, and so that Facebook will carry it. Unu mana ihe anyị nọ ya agba touch afọ ụzọ, and eziokwu ahụ zoro ezo ka anyị na-achịpụtasị. Lately, IPOB has been in the news, especially on social media. Ihe na-adịghị anya obi mma because over the years, I hụrụ ndị IPOB as ndị na-eme ihe ha in secrecy. Anyị ada amakawa ihe ha na-eme, which should be the normal thing for any organization. Mana kemgbe eji wee jide Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from 2021, anyị afụkwa much of the noise 2022, but after 2022, gbagowezie I don't know a lot of things and accusations and counter accusations. Now, after research, I get a man over where Chopotana, a lot of propaganda na ga on where Chopotonia name go name. I ain't not carry for the name because I thought that Nigerian media that biased in Oblabasoro Igbo news and Hannah the one sided. So we took it upon ourselves. So I can to allow or report in name Nulu. Never could tell so. You know, now, can you report to here on the will I not further? In your play, in your blood drop, Maka Olo, and in here they men Olo, near Basaloni, I not get for the way put a cable so. Now, recently or last month, there were accusations on Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, lawyer Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. From our own research, or represented Nnamdi Kanu in between 2015 or the till 2022, where Ndai Pop and Clement actually are true. And then I got a lot of el to play on pro bono. And I have a touch bar on the mother to journal, or for the snap or you go for the snow on pro bono. I was a one in the IPOB Nila in Jide, Okukwene area on Probu. Manan Nayana Kalon Takalo, but I would say a lot of publication. I dare go Kuno for you, go see now for your work. I was in a Oga, the one man no onion call. So everyone and the Kane, newspaper there, which to me it shouldn't be. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Man, one challenge in these people never propaganda about somebody. It doesn't say you have to I could say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu attack. Don't be surprised now this interview now I got time where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu attack. In my own opinion, only boom teure mata Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Transaction Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, here Basa Mazi Nnamdi Kanu na public domain and on the social media, oya maboya na ba Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now. And how can you mind intimidate? How many here? It was a key response to how about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because to them, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now an icon. And one you get quick on every Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, so they will just carry this propaganda on social media, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you should rise and fix this. So you make this okay. Every hand call and you have on social media. All the one make any Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor space. Come find here, carry no. Then you know say the two sides. On your play with you the girl say no. I give video now. On your 9 year old man say Nga we man zone you go. But man say Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Sir, please, may we know you? I not like him here in Igbo. Manodi baka ige menka no Igbo. Maka ihe ha dere ya no Igbo. So ọtụtụ ndị ekuno ya. So, like may we know you, sir?
Okay, my name is Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor.
with these barristers, although I know for the benefit of those that are listening to us, you are a lawyer.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Now, can you tell us your relationship with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
First of all, let me make this very clear. It's not actually my intention to grant interview relating to Nnamdi Kanu's case, since I left the matter 2023. But in view of the fact that falsehood, blackmail over the places and those, coupled what we were told when you visited him, so it becomes compelling that I should address one of two pertinent issues through this platform. Through this platform, because I've declined granting interview to mainstream media just for this matter. Nnamdi Kanu was my client. I became his lawyer December 2015.
Okay.
So formalized January 2016 by his letter of appointment. So and we did his case till 2017 when he was granted bail. Shortly after which his house was invaded sometime in September. Yes, 2017. Then after which he was adopted in Kenya 2021 and brought to Nigeria. Took over the case, started 2022. Was also discharged rapported till 2 to 3 when we left with him. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Like you said, we now know that you are his lawyer 2015 to 2016. Within this period, that was when he was first arrested. That's the period of his first incarceration.
That was he was brought in here to 2014. First incarceration was 2014.
Okay.
So and already in court formally December 2015.
Okay.
No, yes. So.
Okay, so you were the lawyer that represented him.
Yes.
Okay, within that period, and then you
he was brought in here 2015, not 2014.
Okay.
Then already in court in December 2015. That's
okay.
Not 2014. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we came into the matter. It wasn't first why that appeared in the matter. It was all better. We came into the matter 2015. Then our representation was formalized in 2016 January.
Okay.
So thank you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, how did the first case you did for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you won that case for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
You know, when he was arrested in 2015 and consequently ran into that December 2015 that should be on 3-count charge. So we did the matter until he was granted bail. Of course, severally we applied for his bail, which was refused. And before he was granted bail in 2017. So at that point, they were charged. Then they amended the charge to brought in Benjamin Madbo, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, Chidebere and David Mawisi. So he was first granted bail on April 2017. Subsequent after that, we followed up and applied for bail for the remaining defendants, which was also granted by the court. Okay. And condition perfected by us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, for how long did you represent him? I mean, in between that 2015 till date, for how long?
No, actively we are his lawyer from 2015 December till December 2023 when we left with him.
Okay, when you left with him.
Yeah.
Now, what was the relationship with him like?
No, it was just a client-lawyer relationship, and then apart from the fact that the matter was handled pro bono exclusively, and in view of the fact that subject matter borders on Igbo courts, so we are committed to the case. We are committed to the case and diligently prosecuted the defense to ensure that he was released and get the charge struck out.
Okay. Were you representing only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or you were also representing IPOB?
No, effectively, we were appointed. I was appointed by Nnamdi Kanu as his lawyer, January 2016, formalized. I have a note to that effect. Okay. Then, subsequent to that, after he was granted bail, then IPOB as a body, as an institution, appointed me as the lawyer. In that letter, it was signed by Nnamdi Kanu, letter of instruction, signed by Ejiofor, and and the HOD, she gave them today, so I have the letter today. So and I was a lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu, then continue to be lawyer to IPOB until when instruction, there's no counter instruction that affects the date. Thank you.
Now, talking about Chikedozim, you said Chikedozim was the HOD.
No, I said at the time the IPOB as an institution formalized my appointment as a lawyer, it was signed by 3 persons. The instruction, the instruction for the legal position was signed by 3 persons. Nnamdi Kanu as leader of IPOB, Ejiofor as the deputy leader, and Mazi Chikedozim as head of directorate.
Oh, Chikedozim has been head of directorate.
Of course.
Since 2016.
Of course.
Oh, so what is this one? Okay, that's not why we are here.
Of course.
So because the way they are attacking Chikedozim, one would think that he just came to IPOB.
I've been there since 2016. I've been there effectively there.
Okay, which means they already have their code of conduct. They are already functioning as an organization with various units and executives.
Sure.
Okay,
of course.
Okay. Now, throughout your representation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB from 2015, when you were defending him, what was your relationship with his siblings like? Because these accusations and counter-accusation, sadly, is coming from his siblings, who, in my own opinion...
Let me just quickly address this because for want of time. Lolo, right from 2015 when he came into the matter, it was a war between us and the siblings. Many people may have forgotten that at some point his siblings made publication then.
And that 2015?
Yes, of course, accusing the wife of hijacking the case because we are appointed by the wife. Actually, we were introduced into the case by the wife. Okay. So, and stating publicly that the wife is not Nnamdi Kanu's wife. They disown her because of our appointment at the point. So our problem with them started from that time. And eventually we are the people that secured his bail at the point. We are the people, the team that secured his bail that April 2017.
Now, what is...
And they've not stopped from attacking us.
Okay. What is the position of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's siblings in IPOB?
Well, I can't just define because I'm not involved in administrative affairs of IPOB. But I know they are not part of the executive of IPOB, to my knowledge. So, and I don't think they have any influence in the decision making of IPOB as an institution.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so they do not hold any position, any leadership position in IPOB.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now, so that means you were still his lawyer as at the time he was renditioned.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get to hear about his arrest in Kenya? Did you at any time hear from him or heard that he was kidnapped or arrested in Kenya?
You know, shortly before he was abducted in Kenya, then that was 2021. Especially in June. My house was invaded on 6th of June. So by the security agencies, during which period my PA was assassinated and burned.
Now,
so
were you?
At that point in time, I didn't have to hear from him. So it was few weeks after that I got to hear about his abduction. I saw it on television because I was called by the press to inquire about the whereabouts of my client. I never knew at the point they were calling me. It was being taken to court around that day.
Okay, so, even while he was arrested in Kenya, you were not aware he was arrested.
Nobody told me.
Did anybody within the IPOB family, within his family, aware of his arrest in Kenya?
Not to my knowledge, because at some point when they stopped hearing from him, they were making contacts to ascertain his whereabouts. At some point, they couldn't call me at that time, so I said I've not heard from him in a long while. So, and they were making inquiries, calling people to confirm whether anybody had heard from him. So, and I didn't hear from him.
Okay, there were allegations that his younger brother, Lolo Nneka Chimezie, and some of his family members.
It's not an allegation, that's a fact, because there was a publication made by Lolo Nneka Chimezie at the time, because we eventually come to realize that at the time he made this publication on social media, that it was in the hands of the security agents that are abducted in Kenya. So stating that he has gone to Nnamdi Kanu has gone to mountain to pray. And nobody should bother to ask him about his whereabouts. Are you with me?
Okay.
So at the time he was making this publication, he was in the hands of journalists at the point, at the security agents at the time. So obviously he was aware of his whereabouts and also was also aware of his travel at the time in question.
Okay. So in other words, Lolo Nneka Kanu was aware that Kanu was arrested in Kenya. Now, I want to make this. I'm trying to make a comparison between Kanu's arrest and Sunday Igboho. When Sunday Igboho was arrested in Cotonou, right? The Nigerian government were trying to rendition him to Nigeria, but it was his lawyers were able to stop them from renditioning him to Nigeria, so he was able to face trial in Cotonou. Now, in other words, if maybe they have open door about this arrest, probably is it possible that it could be stopped if effort is made? That there may be a chance that Nigerian government will be stopped from renditioning.
It is possible that if they have raised alarm at the point he was adopted in Kenya, there may be an intervening law, international law, that will stop them from bringing him to Nigeria, because everything was done discreetly. So, and they kept it secret. So that was why severally. I'm alive today in my place of show concern or commitment to this case. My house was invaded, 2019. People were killed, bombed. 2021, my house was the second time invaded. I was attacked, and in all this, God saved me. Then, when he was brought in here, you know, at the point he was brought was when I was recovering from the invasion of my house. That was 2021, June specifically. So that was when he was brought in. Then my lawyer went to see him, and also with other lawyers. In fact, let me make this clarification also. At the time they went to visit him, because I had people calling Ejiofor. It wasn't Nneka Ejiofor specifically that they gave instruction to make a communication to Simon Nneka to broadcast on radio, not me. But at the point in time, I've not seen him.
Okay, we'll come to that.
Now I'm coming. Let me make this let me finish. So we prosecuted this matter, right? We took over the defense in 2021 when he was working. Then, in the course of this matter, he now told me that he wants to involve some senior rockets. It's only mentioned Chief Michael from SAI. Then I said, okay, no problem. He was the person that recommended him. And I said, okay. He now instructed me and Nneka to reach out to Zekon. We reached out to Zekon. Ozukwe now asked us to wait, to give him about Ozukwe said we should give him about a few months to think about the case, and revert to us. It was December that he eventually made up his mind to be part of the team. That was December 2022. Made up his mind to be part of the team. That was 2021 December. Then we visited him, and they have an understanding. I'll come to that later. So we took up defense. Out of 15 count charge, amended charge preferred against him, we got 7 struck out at the point. Then the court returned 8. We said no, we went to the appeal. And on appeal, we got under the leadership of Michael SAN. We got the entire charge. The charge struck out. He was constantly discharged and acquitted. Not only that, the court forbid the federal government in the ruling from further prosecuting him before any court.
Wow! Hold on, please. Hold on.
Yes.
I wanted us to take this one after the other, but since now, are you saying that in the ruling you got?
Yeah. Judgment, not ruling.
The judgment you got for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu after going through. Now, let's start from High Court. The Federal High Court. Yes, yeah. Okay. What happened at the Federal High Court? Because I think this is the bone of contention.
Yeah,
what happened at the Federal High Court?
When he was brought in 2021, there was an amendment to the charge, to the substance charge.
No, so, okay. There was, the former charge, he went to court.
Yeah.
So now they now brought up.
Yeah.
The 2015 court case.
They effected a fundamental amendment to the substance charge at the time.
Oh, okay. Kanu was still undergoing trial.
Yes, before he was
before he now left.
Yes, left. Yeah.
Okay, so when he came back, they continued.
They continued, but what they did was to amend the charge to enlarge it to 15 count charge.
Okay.
They accommodated new
charges,
infractions.
Mm.
Yeah.
Be using small English so that people will understand.
New, to accommodate new probably
charges,
alleged offenses. Yeah.
Okay.
Then it's now they brought up to 15 count charge. So in view of our approach, we after going through the charge, we discovered a fundamental error, right? We now file an objection to the charge. But before the introduction of Ozekomi essay in the matter, I've already filed an objection to the charge. Before he came, we now crossed it and dotted the I's, then filed a fresh amendment, a fresh objection to the charge under his leadership. Before the court ruled on it, struck out 7 count charge out of 15, remaining 8. Then we now said no, we went on appeal to act.
Okay, the judgment now, in the judgment you got from High Court,
ruling.
The ruling you got, the ruling is not judgment.
It's not judgment.
Okay, ruling is different from judgment.
Yes.
So what's the difference? Sorry.
The ruling per se is a preliminary decision.
Oh.
It's not a conclusive.
Okay, well, judgment is conclusive.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, it's good we understand that what you got from appeal court, from High Court is ruling. Now,
because the court returned 8 count charge for him to face trial on that 8 count charge.
Okay.
We now went to court of appeal
to challenge
the remaining 8 count charge.
Good.
Yes,
okay, in that 8 count charge, you now got him discharged and acquitted.
And not only that, the court forbade the federal government from prosecuting him again.
Now, oh my goodness, you mean in the judgment you got,
yes,
the court of appeal forbid the federal government from trying him again. Good. Now, what was your relationship with his siblings like in this second trial?
I've never had a robust relationship with the siblings because they always have been against me.
So what is now, if you are doing well, no, number one, you were the first lawyer that got their brother bail. You got him bail in 2016, right?
Yes.
Good. Which means you are doing well. So you were supposed to be going. You know, when you do this work and you get this bail and discharge and acquitted easily, it's as if it's easy. Now, in this second one again, you were doing well because we were following.
Yes.
And we know that we are hearing good news. You know, every day you go to court, it was on television and I used to see you. You will come and address the press.
But the point is that these guys are not on the same pedestal with you. They have a different agenda from the case.
Okay.
Right from time, because it's afraid, we discovered in the course of time that obviously they found the case as a money-making venture.
Okay.
And of course, you know I cannot tally with that kind of
okay, they want you to, they want to bend you to listen to them. They want to have control of the case. Now, when you said in 2015, they were attacking their brother's wife, that's Mazi Nnamdi Kanu'S wife. That the point is that they say she hijacked the case.
They were attacking her because she introduced me.
Okay.
Yes. They were against my introduction in the case.
Okay.
They attacked her publicly. They made newspaper publication. Not only attacked, they even issued precedent to that effect. It's only her.
But this is family.
Yeah.
Do they even have now? My worry is people that will come here and attack people. They are talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu'S. While his siblings will bring up private matters, personal matters, family matters. They will run to the press. Even their brother's wife. I've read where they called her prostitute. I've read where they called her all manner of name. Now, when you want to come for the defense, they will run and hide behind Mazi Nnamdi Kanu'S. And then the next thing you will hear is, you are attacking Mazi Nnamdi Kanu'S. You are disrespecting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu'S. And that is why we are here today. You can't continue to bully people on social media and think that because you are Mazi Nnamdi Kanu'S siblings, people will keep quiet and tolerate. And then, these actions is affecting all of us. Because we know how important Mazi Nnamdi Kanu'S is to people. And that is why we are doing this. So that either they back off, or, we should take a decision. A lot of people died because of their mistakes. Now, moving forward, barrister. Let's assume they felt you are not good enough. Now, when you got him bail, when you after your push and you did all these things you used to do, he was granted bail. Yes. Is that not enough to know that you are competent? I mean, their interest should be their brother. Now, why do they continue the fight to attack you that is doing so well? Because for me to see a good lawyer is difficult. So when you now get a good one, now we've already explained it. You said the interest is money. Probably they want you to be under their control so that they can manipulate you to do whatever they want. Now, again, let us come back to the very interesting part of it, which is, you said, while you were defending Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the federal government amended the charges to 15 count charges, right? You quashed eight, remaining seven. Yes. Good. And then, I mean, that's progress. Yeah. At that point, were they still attacking you?
They started attacking me from 2015 to date. Even at this moment, they started attacking me.
Because I saw a letter Nneka Chimezie wrote. I think it's a petition against you to Nigerian Bar Association.
Let me just say this thing at this point. I do not want to dwell much on the heinous activities of Nnamdi Kanu'S because apparently that may have been led to the situation they found themselves today. I will need.
We need to. That is even the most.
The point is that you see, there's a limit to which you cannot manipulate nation, right? My involvement in the case is divinely ordained, and I thank God that I am still alive today because of God, for His grace, because of mercy. They have done all they could to eliminate the person sitting beside you today. But God said no, including from those who are calling Nnamdi Kanu'S. So the issue of attacking me publicly on social media is really a non-issue because they've gone far beyond that part. Then, however, and I never knew about this. I never knew about these plans and this conspiracy until we said it. That was when I came to get information about the plan against me and how all of them fell. What I'm telling you today is in the operation of intelligence community. Because all communication they made against me on how to assassinate me is before them. Yes.
Now, because this
is when we are actively involved in this case. We are actively involved. The letter you're talking about, someone anchored it. I don't know who that. Someone anchored it. Because they were not alone. It was a conspiracy among them. What was the purpose of the letter? Because it may have limits of facts. We got a judgment before the Court of Appeal. Then the federal government filed an application for stay. Procedurally, we're going to challenge it. We'll file a motion to set aside the motion for stay. Promptly, harmlessly. And the affidavit had been posted. It shouldn't be a subject of public discussion.
Exactly. Now, my worry.
Should have gone in the end of our case.
No, barrister. Do you know why I'm doing this? My worry is this attacking people publicly. Something that is your brother's, should be your brother's private life. Now you will now attack it, accuse people, trying to demonize people. Now when people try to defend themselves, it is termed an insult or attack on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because they knew this is trying to manipulate or use their brother's incarceration for their own benefit and then manipulating people because of the respect they have with Mazi.
That is the case now.
Now, yeah, that is what I'm trying to. That is the point I'm trying to make because I've gone close to them. I now realize that they are taking advantage of their brother's incarceration to enrich themselves, which they knew is bad. When you come close to them, either you go with them, if they see that that is why I'm being attacked, if they see that you are not going their way, maybe the way they will want to control you. Once they see that you are not buying that, they will start blackmail.
Okay, let me say this to you. After his conviction, I made a public statement, which I believe I don't want to dwell into that. Shortly before, after the Supreme Court judgment, let me use this opportunity to make this in public because I've written about it in passing. There was a discussion about the release. I don't want to go into detail about it. And because you see, when certain discussions were going on, you have to manage. Somebody is asking, I would like you to respond. Why didn't you take him to home when you got the discharge and acquitted? This and not that is the area they handle. We will come back there. We'll come back there. Obviously, this is part of course, we are not lawyers. Like I said. So I'm making a point. I don't interrupted. I don't know where I stopped. When we came back from Supreme Court, arrangement to get him. Supreme Court. Arrangement to get him. Oh, you went to as far as Supreme Court? Of course, and when the appeal went to Supreme Court with them. So when we came back, arrangement to get him out was probably at the concluding stage. Wow. But they were not on the law. Lawyer, the law. No, I want to tell you. I want to tell you. We are running fast. Okay. I want people to follow us and get the gist. So I have immediate time to say. Okay, wait, please. We need to do this. Okay. Now, you got him discharged and acquitted from Supreme Court. Even at that, his siblings were still attacking you. That aside. Now, when you got him the discharged and acquitted, what happened? Why didn't the federal government release him? Okay, now. Okay, they filed an appeal against him to the Supreme Court. Before the appeal was filed, when that order was delivered, we wrote to AG Federation at the time and DGSSS for them to comply immediately with the judgment of the court. And that judgment was not handed on the day it was delivered. It took about 2 to 3 days before it was handed over to us. So now, immediately we got the judgment. Because as soon as we wrote to federal government, to AG Federation, the president and also the DGSSS to get him, to release him, to comply with the court judgment, we also initiated a contempt proceedings against them. Simultaneously, this took place within 24 to 48 hours. I have the records with me. So when this was going on, even before the judgment was released to us, they filed an application for stay on a Friday. Okay, government themselves filed an application for stay. Yeah. When they saw this heat coming, when they were starting these processes, so they filed an application for stay on a Friday. Then, of course, when that application before the court to hear and dispose of it before taking further step. So we now went back. We filed an application to get, we'll counter it, right? We'll file a counter to that application, which actually affected the status of the case. It was hard on the merit and ruling delivered. Then we now went to Supreme Court. Now, what was ruling? Well, the court said stay the execution of judgment of the court. Okay, they granted the stay. Now, because for the benefit. I'm coming. Because the decision of the court at that point is within the court discretion. Yes. You don't need to fight the court. You don't need to fight the judge. You don't need to condemn the justices. What you do need to do is to follow the legal judicial process. We didn't cross appeal against that ruling. Sure. We cross appeal against the state decision of the court appeal. During the court appeal, we cross appeal against the ruling. So then we now want to go to Supreme Court. So I can't go to SSS and say, I want him to be released to me and start fighting the S officials. No, it's not. What he was supposed to do. It's not the first time the federal government is denying release of someone that was granted bail. They've done it to even big politicians. You know, and actually today, how many times have they granted him bail and they refused to? Now, when you got to Supreme Court, what happened? What happened in Supreme Court? Well, in Supreme Court, they allowed the appeal. And director should go back to face trial before the federal court. Okay. Then we had a decision. We had a meeting among the legal team, me and Rosikom and other people, in the discussion of other people who obviously are distracted. So we developed a template. Our understanding was that we will not face trial, we will not submit yourself for trial. Okay, so now the understanding you had. Allow me to make clarification because it's affecting the flow of my speech. Okay. So we took a decision that we will not submit himself for trial. Then to explore other options of getting him out. And at that point in time, there was an understanding to get him out. There was right understanding to get him to freedom. I can say that authoritatively to you. Ozokome can also confirm that to you. Then, in our discussion, because where he was being detained, I mean, when we usually conduct meeting with him, he's fully booked. There are certain things you don't need to say to him, but I don't made him to understand that there are movements going on. And obviously, because he always discussing with the brothers, he knows to confide in them. So as soon as the brothers got an inkling about the plans to get him out, they started. That was when they went on air, said we were sacked, and then convinced him to disengage Ozekome.
Okay.
Are you with me? So thinking that the understanding we are trying to reach at the point, right? That as soon as we get to federal high court, and we'll be free.
Okay.
You see, the bias when you're not the ban on yours.
Now, but there's no problem.
So as soon as they move there,
okay, they want to.
Yeah, they want to
double cross and claim the victory.
As soon as they got there, they started making application. And then when they applied for bail, it was thrown out because they were not part of the discussion. They were not part of the understanding. They don't know what to discuss. So, and that was what exposed the case to where we are today. Where they are today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. People are complaining. They said I'm interrupting you. That's allowing you to flow. So now, a team. Obviously, you and you and Ozokome and your team did wonderfully well because I know there were also treason charges against him too.
Yeah, it was amended.
Okay, now, is it Mazi that sacked Ozokome himself?
Well, what happened was that there was a lot of blackmail, a lot of conspiracy going on. As I told you, I was also a kind of a plan to ensure that they hijack the process. So after the meeting, they held together, and now they never consulted me. Are you hearing me? I want this situation to disengage Ozokome. So we came on a meeting because before then, it was all over the news. The brother has been boasting all over the places that Ozokome is gone, Ejiofor is gone. So when we visited him that day, then we have to. Ozokome was forced to see him. So he told Ozokome that he's no longer interested in having anybody defend him. So he disengaged him. So when I came in, he now told me he had disengaged Ozokome. And I said to him that why didn't you consult me at the point of taking this decision? Because I know the consequence of the action of that decision.
Yeah.
So I said, why didn't you consult me at the time of taking the decision that you want to disengage Ozokome? And I said, by virtue of that decision, I am no longer part of this thing.
Okay, you actually resigned.
That was the day. Yes, I said I'm no longer part of this thing. That I'm done.
Not that you were sacked.
I wasn't sacked.
So you resigned because of the way Ozokome was
disengaged Ozokome. It's honorable.
Okay. Okay, you've answered it. It's like you've taken me on a ride. You've answered most of the, questions. Now, to set the record straight, which is why I wanted people to hear your own side of the story, to hear from the horse's mouth. In other words, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would have been a free man today if his siblings had not been traveled. Okay, as far back as 2024.
Yeah.
Okay, now. Going to High Court, how did you view the defense team that defended Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? How did they get him convicted? Because I said two things. Either your lawyer will destroy your case, even if you have a good case. Your lawyer will make it to be a bad case. Sometimes you will have a bad case if you have a good lawyer. It can be a good case. Now, it can be a good case. Now, if you are not Ozokome could, from the High Court to Court of Appeal to Supreme Court.
Let me just simply say this. I'll probably going into the merit. I mean the nature of defense team, or probably the kind of outcome. The fact is clear. See, one thing, I've discussed this issue of conviction in my write-up. But in a summary, you see, the point is that he was ostensibly riding under the misleading impression of show me the law, as propounded by his handlers when I mean handlers, I mean the content creators who are his legal content consultants, prioritizing the content creation. That was what led to the instruction that led to where they are today. Because the point is that when you have agreed to subject yourself to trial, people like this one, they should do. When you have agreed to subject yourself to trial, the ideal thing for you to do is to defend your case.
Yeah, I mean,
of course, and
you submitted yourself. You were saying that we are not submitting ourselves to trial because you know it's a trap.
Let me say it here unequivocally. The judge is not to be blamed because the judge is helpless. He gave you every opportunity to defend yourself, but they were acting on a very dangerous and wrong impression of children below. So, and obviously prioritizing their content creation, of course, which of course obvious to everybody, right? Having agreed to submit yourself to trial, right? You were expected to defend yourself. None of the charges was defended, none. And the judge called the attention to the consequence of the actions. Are you with me? So, and he was misled. I don't know what I was saying, he was misled or whether he misled himself. Right? Because you have to. And he got the best of brains of lawyers. The likes of Canada BSN, the likes of Nneka Chimezie, the likes of Ifeanyi saying these are powerful, erudite members of the Barr. You have done damage to that case and helped him. But the fact is that I don't know who advised him, I don't know who was involved or evidence against him. The fact is that he has the best of brain. He had the best of brain at the time. The likes of Canada BSN, the likes of Nneka Chimezie, the likes of Onyechi SN. You know what they say? These are the best of brain you can talk about in the Nigerian station. And